Hello friends, today we are going to solve a numerical problem on design of general bearings. This problem was asked in your university examination 1670, and this problem is also asked in several times in your university examination. So the numerical problem is given as problem is see the problem. The problem is design a journal bearing for a centrifugal pump for a following data. The load on the journal is given in is 20,000 Newton. Speed of the journal is given as 900 RPM. The type of the oil is given as SAE10. So you need not to select the oil. The oil is given. The operating temperature is also given, that is 15 degrees centigrade. The absolute viscosity of the oil is also given, that is 0.017 kg per meter second. This kg per meter second is nothing but Newton second per meter square. That is a standard SI unit of absolute viscosity, that is a dynamic viscosity. Ambient temperature of the oil is 15.5 degrees centigrade. The maximum bearing pressure for the pump is also given as 1.5 Newton per mm square. We have to calculate the lubricating oil required for artificial cooling, and uh, some more data is also given, that is a temperature rise at inlet and outlet, that is 10 degrees centigrade, and the heat dissipation coefficient is also given, that is 1232 watt per meter square degree centigrade. Okay, so first we will start with the given data. First we will write down the given data. So given data is that load is given, the radial load is given, that is 20,000 Newton. The general speed is also given, that is 900 RPM. Operating temperature of the oil is given as 55 degrees centigrade. The viscosity, absolute viscosity or the dynamic viscosity of the oil is given as 0.017 kg meter second. The ambient temperature of the bearing is 15.5 degrees centigrade. The maximum pressure that the bearing can sustain is equal to 1.5 Newton per mm square. Temperature change of lubricant between outlet and inlet is equal to 10 degrees centigrade. The heat coefficient, heat transfer coefficient for heat dissipation is 1232 watt per meter square degree centigrade. So these are the things which are given. Better to write instead of C, you write it as a KA. Okay, capital KA. Now, how we will proceed this problem? We will go as per the steps we have discussed when we are discussing the design procedure of general bearing. The first step, we will remember that we have to select the right L by D ratio for the particular application. So the application in this question is given is centrifugal pump. The application is given as centrifugal pump. So what we will do, we will go on the table number 15.7, page number 366 in our design machine design data book written by Reddy and Mahadevan. The table is, I'm showing the table here. If you go in the first column at serial number 17, you will have generator, motor. You will have generator, motor, centrifugal pumps. So our application is centrifugal pump. So the L by D ratio, the appropriate L by D ratio is given as 1 to 2, and for centrifugal pump it is given as 1.5. So we have taken the L by D ratio as 1.5. By assuming this L by D ratio 1.5, as the diameter of the journal is not given, so we can find out the length of the bearing in terms of journal diameter. That will become out L is equal to 1.5 diameter of the journal. Now the pressure is given, as the pressure is given, and we know the what is pressure. Pressure is nothing but radial load divided by projected area of the bearing. So projected area of the bearing is what? L into D. So L into D means 1.5 into D into D, because L is equal to 1.5 D. So from here we can write down the pressure is equal to W upon 1.5 D square. So from here we can easily find out the diameter of journal. The diameter of journal comes out 94.28. As 94.28 is not a standard diameter of the shaft, so we'll standardize this shaft diameter as diameter is equal to 95 mm. So we have selected, or we have designed the diameter of the journal is 95, and by designing the diameter it is also the length of the bearing is also designed, because length of the bearing what we have assumed is 1.5 of the diameter of the journal. Okay, now we have to check this length of the bearing and the diameter of the journal, that the bearing is working under the fully hydrodynamic lubricated condition, or it is working under the partial lubrication condition. So for that we have to find out the bearing characteristic number, operating bearing characteristic number. So to find out the operating bearing and characteristic number, what we need Z, that is the dynamic viscosity of the oil. We need RPM of the shaft, and we need the bearing pressure. So we have all these three things. We have the RPM of the journal, it is given in the question, that is 900 RPM. We have dynamic viscosity, it is also given in the given data, that is 0.017 kg meter per second or Newton second per meter. Okay, now we are able to find out the operating characteristic number of the bearing, that will comes out 10.5 to 10.2 by putting all the values of the variables. Okay, now in the next step what we have to do, we have to find out the bearing modulus for the particular application. To find out the bearing modulus of a particular application, we will again go to the table number 15.7 on page number 366 in our machine design data book written by Mahadevan and Reddy, and this table is this. If you see in the fifth column, there is a minimum Zn by P, and I have also told you earlier that this minimum Zn by P is nothing but 3 times of the bearing modulus, because in the standard condition we want our bearing characteristic number should be 3 times bearing modulus. Okay, so this minimum Zn by P, will put is equal to 3 times of the bearing modulus. So minimum Zn by P is equal to the 3 times of the bearing modulus, and the minimum value is 29.01. That will comes out, C will becomes out, the bearing modulus will becomes out 9.67. Okay, now we will check the condition. The bearing is either in partial lubrication condition or the fully developed hydrodynamic lubrication condition. So if we compare this the Zn by P operating with the bearing modulus, we find out that the Zn by P operating is greater than the bearing modulus. That means the bearing is operating in the condition of fully developed hydrodynamic lubrication condition. Okay, and there is no possibility of metal to metal contact. Metal to metal contact. Okay, now what we have to do, first step of the design is over, because we have find out that our whatever we have find out by assuming the L by D ratio is correct, because our bearing is working under the fully developed hydrodynamic lubrication condition. Okay, now the second step, he is asking for the amount of oil to remove the extra heat, or the amount of oil for artificial cooling. So we have to find out the requirement of artificial cooling, and what will be the requirement of artificial cooling. The requirement of the artificial cooling will be the difference of heat generated and the heat dissipated. Whatever heat is generated and whatever heat the bearing can dissipate. The difference of these two terms will be the amount of extra heat which is to be cooled by artificial cooling. So finding out the requirement of artificial cooling, what we have to do, we have to find out the heat generated, and also we have to find out the heat dissipation. So for finding out the heat generated, the heat generated is equal to the friction coefficient of friction multiplied by radial load multiplied by the velocity. This friction coefficient is given in your data book, page number 353, in equation number 15.4. That is the Mackey's equation. Okay, so we will find out the friction value, the coefficient of friction, with this equation. So if you see this equation, I have taken the snapshot of that data book, the equation number 15.4b here. So this friction coefficient F is equal to K into Z into small n divided by P multiplied by R into C. This R by C is nothing but inverse of radial clearance ratio, and this radial clearance ratio can be find out from again from the data book for the particular application. We will go again for the table number 15.5, 15.7, page number 66, 366, and this C by R can be have from here for the centrifugal pump, and this it is given at 0.0013. So we have taken at it as 0.0013. We are having C by R, but we need R by C. So if we inverse this radial clearance ratio, we will have the R by C. Okay. So, and this small n is nothing but it is the rotation per second of the journal. So to find out the small n, we will divide the RPM divided by 60. We will have the small n in RPS. Okay. So by putting the all variables, and this Ka for full journal bearing is, because in the centrifugal pump we always use the full journal bearing, that is 360-degree bearing. So the K is given in the data book is 0.195 into 10 power 6 for full journal bearing, that is beta is equal to 360, and del F is equal to 0.002. If you put all these values in the coefficient of friction formula, you will have the coefficient of friction is equal to 0.0045. Okay. Now once we have calculated the coefficient of friction, now we are able to find out the heat generated, and for finding out the heat generated we need the velocity in the meter per second. So we will find out the velocity in meter per second of the journal, that is pi d n divided by 60, because diameter is in mm, so we have to divide it further by 1000, and the velocity comes out 4.47 meter per second. Okay, now we are able to find out the Q generated. The Q generated comes out 406.77 watt. Now we have to find out the heat dissipation. This heat dissipation is little tricky. Why it is tricky? Whatever we have discussed when we are discussing the design procedure, we have calculated the heat dissipation with this formula. This HD is equal to Kp into AP, where Kp is equal, has to be calculated by this formula. But in our problem, this Kp is given, and I have write down it as a Ka, and this Ka is given as 1232 watt per meter square degree centigrade. If you see the unit of Kp here is joules per second meter square, but the unit of Ka is watt meter square per degree centigrade. That means this Kp has to be multiplied, Ka has to be multiplied with the projected area of the journal and the temperature difference between the bearing and the ambient temperature, this Tb minus Ta. So we will not use these equations. We have to use the K which is given in the problem. So for using this Ka, we have to establish a equation for heat dissipation, and this heat dissipation equation can be written up by the by viewing the unit of this heat dissipation coefficient. So heat dissipation coefficient unit is watt per meter square degree centigrade. That means we have to multiply this heat dissipation coefficient with the projected area and the temperature difference between bearing and the ambient temperature. So this Ka will be equal to Tb minus Ta into projected area in meter square. Okay, so we are able to find out this Tb minus Ta as we have calculated from the design data book. Tb minus Ta is nothing but half of the operating temperature minus ambient temperature, and ambient temperature and the operating temperature is given in the numerical, that is 55 degrees the operating temperature and 15.5 is the ambient temperature. So we can easily find out the Tb minus Ta, that is equal to 19.25. From here we can easily calculate the heat dissipation by the bearing through normal convection. So this value comes out 321.05 watt. Now the artificial cooling requirement is the heat Q artificial. I have taken the artificial cooling requirement is Q artificial. The Q artificial is nothing but Q generated minus HD, that is heat dissipation. So we are having the requirement of the cooling, artificial cooling is 85.7 watt. That much amount of the heat has to be carried by the extra oil which is required and which has to be calculated, and this extra amount of heat can be helpful to find out the mass flow rate of your oil, lubricating oil, which is required for artificial cooling. The amount of artificial cooling is 85.7. So we can write down the formula M into S into T, where M is the mass flow rate of the oil, S is the specific heat of the lubricating oil, and the specific heat of the lubricating oil ranges from 1840 joule per kg degree centigrade to 2100 joule per kg degree centigrade. That value you have to remember, because it is not given in the data book and it is also not given in your problem. In journal this value is given in your problem. Okay, so as it is not given here, so you have to remember that the specific heat capacity of the oil ranges, lubricating oil ranges from 1840 joule per kg degree centigrade to 2100 joule kg per degree centigrade. Okay, so we have taken heat capacity of the oil as 1840 joule per kg degree centigrade. So by putting this value in this formula, M into S into T, and the temperature difference of the inlet and the outlet oil is 10 degree. It is also given in the problem. If you see in the problem, it is given. If the rise of oil be limited to 10 degrees, that means the temperature difference at the outlet and the inlet of the bearing is 10 degree. So by putting these values in this Q artificial is equal to M into S into T, we are able to find out the mass flow rate of the extra oil required for removing the extra heat, or artificial cooling required, the extra oil required for artificial cooling, and that will be comes out 0.0046 kg per second. That's all. In this manner you can use the design procedure for solving any design problem of the journal bearing. Thank you for all.